The little sign appeared on Ashford Street, repairs tomorrow. Every time I read it, today slid politely toward Tuesday. No one argued. The week just rearranged its chairs. Entry 1, Monday, early spring. The placard. I found the placard tied with twine to the lobby rail. Repairs tomorrow in a careful hand. The marker line was fresh. The squeak still lived inside the ink. David Blackwood said, "It is good to promise repair." He tapped the rail that prefers compliments. At noon I checked my phone, and the calendar insisted we were closer to Tuesday than we had been an hour earlier. The bell rang its 2 gentle notes, as if the building nodded yes to a new schedule. Entry 2, Tuesday, that arrived early. Willowbrook's window. Tom Aldridge taped a smaller version inside the cafe window. His letters were tidy and calm. Repairs tomorrow, it said, near the tin of red pushpins he calls tomatoes. He poured tea without sugar and tested the door. The hinge preferred quiet that morning. "Tomorrow is an excellent employee," Tom said. "It never calls in sick." Outside, the streetlight blinked as if a timetable had dust in its gears. Entry 3, still Tuesday, widened. The chalkdot. Someone refreshed the chalk dot on our doorframe at the helpful height. The dot looked brighter. A second dot appeared lower, probably for shorter neighbors and children who like rules that fit. Next to the dots, someone had copied the placard by hand. Repairs tomorrow. When I counted the steps to the landing, my feet remembered the pause after 17 and then added a kindness. Time adjusted itself the way a window adjusts when you stop breathing on it. Entry 4, after rain, post office wrist. The clerk stamped received with a lighter wrist. A new sign hung on the wall behind her. Repairs tomorrow in ink the color of warm tea. "I like the promise," she said. "It takes the heat off today, but still believes in action." The line moved like a river that had finally studied its banks. My envelope accepted its circle with relief, as if stamps were little chairs for restless goals. Entry 5, midweek that feels like Tuesday, hotel lobby. Celia Hart set a tray in the hotel lobby labeled before forms. Water first, then chair, then map. Beside the tray, a neat placard, repairs tomorrow. The twine matched the one in our lobby. "Tomorrow calms guests who need their rooms to stop behaving loudly," she said. The bell sang twice with precision. The elevator opened without asking for a name. Some schedules respond better to politeness than to force. Entry 6, night pharmacy, drawer for sharp words. At the night pharmacy, Marina Holloway kept a drawer labeled for when words are sharp. A smaller sign stood by the register, written with a patient marker. "Repairs tomorrow." "I find it helpful," she said. "People pause before insisting on tonight." She wrapped a paper band around my receipt that read "Not today" and smiled without fatigue. Even the receipt printer learned to breathe between lines. Entry 7, market morning. Community board. The community board outside Willowbrook grew busier. Lost gloves. A knitting circle. A sketch of the river that stays. In the corner, the placard appeared again. "Repairs tomorrow" in a new hand that kept the old posture. Someone pinned it with 4 tomatoes, 1 for each corner, so the paper would not attempt to walk. The board looked like a town learning how to set the table for patience. 2 pigeons approved by finding a different stage. Entry 8, late afternoon, almost Tuesday, the elevator lesson. The elevator prefers verbs. We say home instead of names and ring the bell twice. Today it waited an extra breath as if honoring the sign. Repairs tomorrow, it seemed to think, and therefore consent today. I felt my shoulders lower. Repairs promise kindness not only to objects but also to sentences. When the doors opened, the day steadied like a cup on a quiet saucer. Entry 9, evening, the blue scarf. The blue scarf with the small moth bite came back to the lobby hook. Its tag read for warmth promoted to mentor. Someone had added a second line, "See also patience." On the wall beside it the placard sat like a neighbor, "Repairs tomorrow." I touched the wool and remembered that repair is not a secret. It is a public practice. Entry 10, before dawn. The step that remembers. Feet count truths faster than calendars. I counted 17, paused, then felt the ghost of an 18th. The sign downstairs held the air steady. "Repairs tomorrow," it said, but also rest now. I pressed my palm on the rail, and the rail warmed with gratitude the way metal does when it believes you will return. The stair accepted my pace as if we had met in the middle of a sentence and agreed on the verb. Entry 11, Tuesday again, a pencil notice. At the library, Anna Whitmore had rewritten the placard in pencil on a card catalog divider. Repairs tomorrow, she wrote, then added in smaller script, hold as bridge, not as lecture. People look braver when they have a plan, she said. Tomorrow is a plan that practices without shouting. The card slipped into a drawer labeled weather. I like that category for promises that become air. Entry 12, rain on glass. The circle motion. Windows invite fingerprints and then forgive them. I cleaned the lobby pane with a cloth that prefers circles. Between swipes, I saw the sign reflected in the glass. Repairs tomorrow became repairs rowoomer for a second. Even backward it worked. The idea traveled both ways and stayed kind. David walked by carrying the tin of tomatoes and nodded like a metronome with manners. Entry 13, cafe table. 2 cups and a silence. An apology rehearsed itself near the counter. 2 cups. 1 chair slightly turned outward. The placard near the sugar read repairs tomorrow, and the apology borrowed its posture. Words arrived without helmets. No one kept score. Afterward we laughed, but not too loud. Tom refilled the hot water and said, promises are furniture. Entry 14, after midnight. First inversion. I assumed the sign excused delay. It did not. It redirected impatience toward Tuesday and freed today to behave. Tasks finished without needing drum rolls. The sign was not a nap. It was choreography. Entry 15, early summer. The tram schedule. At the stop, someone taped a placard near the lamp. Repairs tomorrow. The driver smiled and said, we keep a spare kindness for ramps that stick. Tuesday is a good mechanic. Passengers nodded the way people nod when they know the choreography already works. The ramp lowered with a sound like a sentence that lands softly. Entry 16, noon light. Manual for a sign that behaves. I wrote a small manual and pinned it next to our lobby placard with 2 tomatoes. Manual for repairs tomorrow. 1. Promise publicly, work quietly. 2. Move today toward Tuesday only if patience needs a chair. 3. If someone needs urgency, offer a second bell note, not a speech. 4. Thank tools out loud. Rails listen. Doors learn. Cloth remembers circles. 5. Retire the sign when weather improves. Keep the habit. Entry 17, windy, the bell's calendar. The bell rang its 2 notes as usual, but today the second note lingered like a page turned slower. Celia said the elevator opens better when time is kind and names are upstairs. We do not argue with machines that learn manners. The placard watched from the wall, like a teacher who trusts you to finish. Entry 18, library hour, margins. Anna wrote in the margin of a book about hinges. Oil plus patience equals sleep for neighbors. She glanced at the placard we had copied onto a smaller bookmark. Repairs tomorrow, softer now. Margins are where towns write to themselves without scaring anyone. Entry 19, evening, the pocket. I carried a folded placard in my pocket. It became a square that felt like a spare room. When worry arrived with shoes on, I unfolded the paper and the worry put its feet back on the mat. Promises can be handled and put away. They travel well. Entry 20, dawn, the sign at the river. A placard floated face down near the river wall, the twine still attached. I fished it out with a stick and pressed it against the stone so the words could drink. Repairs tomorrow, it thought again. The river stayed. Water like sentences that do not lie. I left the sign under a rock to dry. By lunch the calendar felt more reasonable, as if the town had stretched. Entry 21, quiet morning, the wrong use. A neighbor demanded that the mailbox repair itself today. He pointed at the sign and said, not tomorrow, today. The placard did not answer. Tom walked up and set a chair nearby. Sit while you ask, he said. The neighbor sat. Once seated, he asked kindly. David arrived with a screwdriver and gratitude. The mailbox returned to work like a clerk who had been offered water before forms. Entry 22, earlier. The cup for later. An empty cup waited on a saucer at Willowbrook before the person who needed it arrived. A small tent card said repairs tomorrow. Another line said hold this first. The person came, held the cup, and found their words waiting under the steam. Not all repairs fix objects. Some fix sentences. Entry 23, after rain, chalk school. Children redrew the dot and wrote a second word beside it in little letters, aloud. Below that, they taped a tiny placard. Repairs tomorrow in handwriting that looked like a whispered cheer. The steps learned the new energy and forgot how to scold shoes. You could feel the building's gratitude in the rails. Entry 24, dusk, the apology in transit. A suitcase rolled loudly down the hotel hall. The owner returned to the lobby and said, "Sorry for the parade." Celia pointed at the placard and the chair. The guest sat, and we breathed together for one shared minute. Then the guest lifted the suitcase as if lifting a sentence into the right part of the page. Upstairs, the elevator cooperated without needing medals. Entry 25, library hour. The misread, kindly corrected. At the library desk, a patron said, "This sign means no one will help me." Anna smiled and slid a card across. It read, "Help today, fix the cause Tuesday." She placed the placard on a tin of pencils like a small umbrella. The rain of worry slowed. Entry 26, evening, second inversion. I decided the sign was not about delay. It was about scale. Today is for small fixes that respect breathing. Tuesday is for the list that needs chairs and diagrams. This division made my hands stop hurrying for applause. Entry 27, late, the counterfeit placard. A glossy sign appeared with gold letters shouting big repairs tomorrow. Tom peeled it off the window gently and replaced it with our modest version. "We use indoor voices," he said, and the bell outside answered with 2 supportive notes. Entry 28, before dawn, a hinge series. 4 photos of the same hinge arrived on my phone, each with a time written in words. Oil applied. Humor reduced. Torque gentle. Sleep earned. I pinned a placard near the stair. Repairs tomorrow. The building practiced gratitude in advance. Entry 29, leaf season. The list on the wall. At Willowbrook, a paper listed verbs. Open, serve, breathe, wipe, listen, continue. Underneath, a small sign whispered, "Repairs tomorrow." The combination felt like meal and menu. I left a coin in the donation box, and it rang like approval. Entry 30, late, the handoff. Celia texted a photo of a placard at the hotel. "Repairs tomorrow, water first today." Our lobbies had become cousins. The town now carried a family resemblance of kindness. Schedules shook hands behind our backs and agreed to stop scaring people. Vignettes, repairs with no speeches. A bus stop bench wobbled. We slid a folded napkin under one leg and wrote a card, "Proper fix Tuesday." The bench stood straighter than pride. The community board slouched. Tom added 2 tomatoes to its corners. He wrote, "Corners need friends. Tomorrow for screws." The board saluted. The night pharmacy printer grabbed 2 receipts at once. Marina patted it like a horse and said, "You first." The drawer handled the rest. Repair Tuesday. The elevator button developed a stutter. We hummed the 2 notes and pressed slowly. The car remembered patience. Technician Tuesday. The river path grew slippery. David scattered grit at dawn. The placard on the bucket read, "Respect ankles today, repair Tuesday." Manual, reading a repairs tomorrow sign. 1. Translated into verbs. Rest, stage, gather, teach. 2. Ask what can be safe now with chairs and kindness. 3. Place the heavy fix on Tuesday's table, label your tools. 4. Use chalk to mark the safer path today, circles help. 5. Retire the sign with thanks, let the weather keep teaching. Casebook, small delays with good endings. Case 1, the door that knocks too hard. We taped felt under the knocker and wrote, "Full repair Tuesday." The door quieted enough for bedtime. Case 2, the upstairs light that flickers. A lamp borrowed a softer bulb. The sign hung from the chain. Tuesday, the electrician smiled at our rehearsal. Case 3, the freezer that bites fingers. We used a towel as a glove and wrote, "Hinge expects care. Fix Tuesday." No fingers argued. Case 4, the tram seat that rocks. We reported the seat and tied a card to the rail. "Sit gently. Repair Tuesday." Riders sat like librarians. Case 5, the window that forgets closed. We practiced circles, then taped a rectangle of kindness over the latch. Tuesday, the latch remembered employment. Entry 31, early, the bell choir. We practiced the 2 notes before pressing the elevator button. The sign nearby read, "Repairs tomorrow," as if conducting. Doors opened in key. No one auditioned for the day. We all simply worked. Entry 32, laundry hour, fabric language. At the basement machines, a notice leaned on the detergent shelf. "Sock Monopoly ends Tuesday." Under it, someone placed a smaller placard. "Repairs tomorrow." Socks paired off like responsible citizens. Entry 33, Market, the coin. Two children traded a paper flower for a coin. A tiny sign on the stall said, "Change for courtesy today, receipts for repairs Tuesday." I wish most economies were this transparent and this sweet. Entry 34, Afternoon, window forgiveness. The cloth and I circled the glass again. Sunlight applauded softly. The placard reflected like a lantern. The street behind me looked relieved to be seen kindly. Entry 35, Evening, postcard. A postcard lay on the counter. Your street uses tomorrow like a tool, not a trap. The clerk stamped received and said, "I prefer better Tuesdays." Her wrist moved with music. Entry 36, Early Autumn, the index. Anna filed a new card. Tomorrow, see also rehearsal, see also relief. When I read the drawer labeled continue, I felt the whole week become possible without shouting. Entry 37, Errand hour. Elevator patience. A child pressed the button too many times. The doors waited anyway. The placard watched from the wall without scolding. I thanked the machine under my breath. Machines hear gratitude like oil. Entry 38, Storm, outage. Power took a nap. We used candles and jam jars. The sign on the counter said, "Full repair Tuesday, together now." Neighbors counted stairs aloud and remembered step 17 with ceremony. Entry 39, Gentle, the almost name. I almost said my name to the panel. The placard caught my eye. Repairs tomorrow. I said home instead. The car liked the verb. Doors slid like manners. Entry 40, Hotel, cousins again. Celia wrote a new line under her sign. Water first, names upstairs later. Her lobby became a school where arrival graduates daily without speeches. Entry 41, Quiet block, the chairs graffiti. Under the seat, someone penciled aloud. The placard nearby kept the room honest. I left the word where it was. Permission is a civic muscle. Entry 42, Before dawn, third inversion. I thought tomorrow was late. It is local. It belongs to streets that respect longs. It lets today be small and accurate. Entry 43, Need, punch list. I wrote a list. Sweep, wipe, restock, thank, continue. I set a placard next to it like a coach that does not yell. The list behaved. I did not sprint toward applause. Entry 44, Late, the mitten prediction. We found a mitten before the river bend. A card said, "Return here after dusk." Tuesday, the owner came. Tonight, we let the mitten wait on the post like a small lighthouse. Entry 45, Noon, a day without signs. We put the placards in a drawer. Everyone remembered the rules anyway. At night, a single card sat on the counter. You do not need me every hour. Entry 46, Season shift, the scarf retires. The blue scarf lay folded in a drawer labeled rested. Paper under the wool read, Job complete, applause unnecessary. I closed the drawer like a person closing the lid on a kind song. Entry 47, Afternoon, soft apology. Two hands near the bell. A sign under the bell rope. Apologize first, ring after. We followed the order exactly. It worked like a door that trusts its hinge. Entry 48, Flower day, bread. Bread cooled and cut the room's worry in half. The placard leaned against a jar and took the evening off. Entry 49, Evening, window sills. Dust practice speeches. I answered with circles and then tea. Even dust can learn to behave if you do not nominate it for drama. Entry 50, Lighter wrist, clerk again. The clerk waved our placard away. I trust your Tuesdays, she said. Her stamp sounded like a bell that keeps its promises. Entry 51, Chalk school, dots plural. Children added a second dot for people who do not share the same height. They pinned a card. Repairs tomorrow, access today. The lobby looked wiser without becoming a museum. Entry 52, Window, reflection. My reflection wore posture, not pride. The sign in the glass said repairs tomorrow, and the shoulders listened. I want to keep that posture even without the sign. Entry 53, Listening hour, choir again. We hummed the two notes and waited. Doors were on time. No trophies, only competence. Entry 54, Before closing, favorite words. Honest, gentle, intent, pause, consent, continue, tomorrow. I like sentences that wear those words like good shoes. Entry 55, Night, the out-of-towner. A traveler photographed the placard loudly. The photo looked like an audition. Tom handed them a smaller card. It read, Use indoor voices. The traveler smiled and tried again with less performance. The street approved. Entry 56, river weather, boat. We folded a printout of the sign and set it on the river. The water read, promises without shouting. The boat went where boats go when they are not asked to be metaphors. Entry 57, repair, technician. A technician checked the elevator. Good habits here, he said. Tuesday kindly used. He wrote a calm note and left the sign where it was, as if to honor rehearsal. Entry 58, golden, the quietest card. A blank square appeared on the board with one pencil word, continue. We did. The hour opened like a window that knows how to forgive. Entry 59, soft rain, last inversion. I thought the placard arranged time. It arranged mood. When the room feels kind, clocks behave as a side effect. Entry 60, evening, closing. The final card today reads repairs tomorrow in small letters. The bell gives 2 notes. We press the button and say home. The doors open. The day steps inside with us. Final tag. Promise publicly. Repair kindly. Let Tuesday keep its word. Appendix. The Tuesday ledger. We kept a ledger of Tuesdays that welcomed our plans without bluster. Repaired hinge with gratitude. Neighbors slept. Humor retired. River path salted before opinions. Ankles respected. Conversation improved. Receipts sorted with lighter wrist. Proof became gentle. Chair rescued a sentence twice. Apology rehearsed. Volume reduced. Dot lowered for shorter readers. Access plural. Dignity unargued. Tram ramp remembered kindness. Schedules sang. Elbows holstered. Manual. Removing a placard with thanks. 1. Read it aloud once. 2. Wipe the corner dust with a circle. 3. Untie the twine slow. 4. Say thank you to the wall. 5. File under weather. Let Tuesday teach from there. Addendum. Tuesday workshop and the discipline of gentle delays. Entry 61, Friday, lamp hour. The workshop sign. We held a small workshop at Willowbrook. The board read, repairs tomorrow, today we practice. Tom set out cups and a black marker that squeaked like polite crickets. People brought problems sized for rehearsals. We gave each problem a chair and a card. By the second cup, the room began to breathe as if it remembered lungs. Entry 62, Saturday, early, the pencil catalog. Anna arrived with a shoebox of index cards labeled by verbs. Continue, apologize, rotate, loosen, listen. She added a new tab, delay, honorable. Under it, she filed the placard language. We copied the best lines with smaller letters, then taught the chalk to be careful. Children circled patience 3 times, as if drawing a doorway we all could fit. Entry 63, Sunday, blue hour. The placard handwriting class. We practiced writing repairs tomorrow in a hand that calms. Rules. Letters stand up straight. No drama in the tail. Ink steady as tea. David sharpened the marker tip with a penknife and said, small is believable. Celia stamped received on a sample and placed it in the drawer labeled weather. Our town loves tidy evidence that refuses to become a stage. Entry 64, Monday, midday. The field trip. We carried placards to Cedar Lane Apartments. The elevator hummed a welcome in 2 notes. We placed a tiny sign by the panel. Verbs first, names upstairs later. The doors behaved with the confidence of a door that trusts its hinge. A neighbor clapped once by accident and apologized. We applauded the apology lightly. Entry 65, Tuesday, afternoon. The Tuesday ledger. We opened a ledger and titled it Tuesday, local mechanic. Entries. Hinge slept. Ramp remembered. Printer sighed less. Window forgave. Chair rescued a sentence. Lowered. Steps taught pause. The ledger made Tuesday a place you could visit, not a rumor. We pinned a tomato in the corner just to make the page feel seen. Entry 66, Wednesday, dusk. Crosswalk manners. We carried a placard to the corner near the river. Repairs tomorrow hung from the pole with twine like a necklace. Shoes stopped 1 friendly step back from the curb. Engines understood without learning pain first. A bus driver waved. Children waved back with elbows to keep hands dry. Manners like these make weather feel shorter. Entry 67, Thursday, candle hour. The tea rehearsal. We brewed tea without sugar and wrote a card. For speaking slower. For saving sweetness. People held cups and found their verbs. The steam carried little permissions. The placard leaned against the sugar jar and did not look offended. Entry 68, Friday, late, night pharmacy audit. Marina counted the paper bands that read "not today." She stacked them like quiet bricks. The drawer labeled for when words are sharp looked older and tired in a good way. We wrote a poster in small letters. Kindness reduces dosage. The printer nodded. The placard on the counter kept the forms humble. Entry 69, Saturday, River Light. The bench check. We inspected benches. One wobbled. We folded a napkin under the short leg and wrote, "Proper fix Tuesday." The bench stood straighter than pride. A couple sat, then stood, and left a coin and a thank you. Chairs and benches are the same species of tool. They rescue sentences. Entry 70, Sunday, early autumn. The plan for doors. We listed doors that knock too hard, doors that forget closed, doors that fear winter. A page of drawings showed felt pads, oil, and patience. We drew circles around screws that enjoy attention. At the bottom we wrote, "Tuesday carries boxes, today carries manners." The placard watched like a teacher who has chosen retirement but still visits. Entry 71, Monday, warm rain, umbrella choreography. A sign near the mat. Shake outside. The lobby prefers dignity. Water abate. Floors expressed relief by refusing to squeak. The placard leaned on the rail and pretended to be a lighthouse. We all felt taller without measuring height. Entry 72, Tuesday, market, the price of enough. A cardboard sign at the counter read, "Pay with attention, add coin if you can." We placed a smaller placard beside it. Repairs tomorrow. People paid in both currencies, and the box called "Continue" smiled, as if boxes have lips. Entry 73, Wednesday, noon. The spoon again. A spoon hid under a napkin on table 3. The card from last week still read good at stirring without speeches. We added a second line, "Enjoys returning." The spoon returned like a citizen renewing a license without hurry. The placard by the tray looked pleased, but did not require applause. Entry 74, Thursday, library, filing the week. Anna filed new cards under delay, honorable. She wrote examples with tiny pencils. She included the placard language and a diagram of a day with chairs. We added an illustration of a bell singing 2 notes. Drawings can carry policy when words are tired. Entry 75, Friday, gentle wind, the stair rehearsal. A time-lapse on my phone showed feet pausing on step 17, then stepping kindly again. The building exhaled. The rail warmed to the hand like a person who forgives. We wrote a placard in very small letters, "Applause not needed." The stair agreed. Entry 76, Saturday, evening, the hotel keys. Celia keeps a bowl of keys that open patience. Guests touch the brass and remember water before forms. The placard near the bowl reads, "Repairs tomorrow." People smile as if checking into a mood. Names go upstairs later. Verbs live in the lobby with good posture. Entry 77, Sunday, candle hour. Outage rehearsal. Candles again. Jam jars again. We are better at outages now. A paper on the counter read, "Quiet first. Repair Tuesday. Gratitude anytime." The placard stood beside the paper like an assistant not seeking credit. Entry 78, Monday, morning, marker maintenance. Mr. Merrick sharpened the black marker tip. The squeak became articulate again. He said, "Letters should be confident, not heroic." We wrote the placard with smaller pride. Small earns trust. Big additions. Entry 79, Tuesday, blue hour, the light map. We mapped where morning light lands in Willowbrook and when to rotate plants. A tag near the window read, "Rotate after tea." We also wrote, "Tuesday for repotting." Plants listen like students who already enjoy the class. Entry 80, Wednesday, desk hour, the inbox. A card on my desk read, "Answer 3, delete 1, postpone 2 to Tuesday." The day cooperated because I did not force it to be large. The placard on the shelf seemed to read my shoulders and approved. Entry 81, Thursday, kind light, receipt choir. We sorted receipts by light or wrist, not by terror. A sign on the box read, "Proof of kindness." Tuesday for audits, if we must. Numbers did their job like chairs. They kept people upright without drama. Entry 82, Friday, river wind. The hat return. A hat waited on a post near the bend. We wrote, "Owner likely at dusk, please leave." Tuesday came on a Sunday. The owner thanked the post, and us. Posts deserve credit sometimes. Entry 83, Saturday, late, the upstairs ceremony. I wrote my name upstairs on hotel paper, and the air relaxed. Downstairs, the placard coached verbs into the lobby. Names later, verbs now. It keeps working. Entry 84, Sunday, quiet. The book, drop hinge. The library slot sighed. We loosened 2 screws and praised it for cooperating. A card promised full repair Tuesday. The slot returned to work like a clerk who took a walk. Praise is oil that smells like fresh bread. Entry 85, Monday, morning, breakfast policy. A note on my fridge read, protein first, headlines later. Tuesday for opinions. I ate. The day felt less noisy. The placard on the counter pretended not to take credit. Entry 86, Tuesday, dust, windowsills again. Dust built arguments. I answered with circles. Tea after. The placard watched as if evaluating my technique. Dust lost the debate without humiliation. Entry 87, Wednesday, gentle traffic, crosswalk chorus. Children practiced waiting. Drivers practiced seeing. We practiced waving. The placard on the pole looked like a conductor who knows silence is part of music. Entry 88, Thursday, lantern hour, the bench speech. Someone carved aloud into the bench slat very small. We left it. A placard below asked, share the seat, repair splinter Tuesday. The seat behaved. Entry 89, Friday, just after, the boundary. A call asked for more than a favor. The ledger suggested no kindly. I said no kindly. The day stayed mine. The placard nodded in ink. Entry 90, Saturday, candle hour, final rehearsal today. The bell rope shone from hands that trust tools. 2 notes. Doors cooperated. We placed the placard face down for the night. Even signs need sleep. Seasonal register, from late autumn to thaw. Grit scattered before sunrise. Ankles respected, complaints retired. Scarf lending worked. Notes of thanks collected. Moths kept on probation. Tram heaters warmed eyes. Windows cracked a finger. Fog treated gently. Window parade honest. Lights employed. Utility applauded. Mailbox humility practiced. Routes trusted. Patience measured in days. Manual, sharing without showing faces. Photograph the permission, not the person. A sign, a chair, a dot, a cup. Keep a drawer called weather. Let prints retire with dignity. When asked for proof, offer a lesson. Ring twice. Breathe. Speak slower. If someone declines the camera, thank them. Boundaries are tools. Applaud quiet with small objects. Pushpins, ribbons, dots. Keep speeches hungry. Casebook continued. 5 winter scenes with decent endings. Case 11, the icy stoop. Grit in a bucket. Card, scatter before sunrise. Resolution, falls avoided, pride avoided too. Case 12, the hinge again. Shorter screw. Card, torque gentle. Resolution, comedy retired, sleep returned. Case 13, the library pencil. Sharpener nearby. Card, kindness requires points. Resolution, margins became legible requests. Case 14, the driver's shoulders. Seat adjusted. Card, see pedestrians first. Resolution, traffic learn manners. Case 15, the neighbor's speaker. Volume low before midnight. Card, raise after 8. Resolution, harmony kept. Entry 91, Sunday, leaf crunch. The rake. A placard leaned on a rake. Start before resentment. Stop before pride. Leaves cooperated without needing allegory. The street smelled like citrus and rain. We filed the card under weather because it kept the day breathable. Entry 92, Monday, soft cold, scarf lending. A basket read borrow a scarf return when warm. A placard nearby said repairs tomorrow. People returned scarves with notes tucked inside. Thank you. Be warm. Keep going. Textiles can be citizens when the town remembers how to knit itself. Entry 93, Tuesday, blue breath. The tram heater. A card on the window wrote, heaters on, windows cracked a finger, respect fog. We rode in a treaty between comfort and air. The treaty felt local and honest. Entry 94, Wednesday, dusk, window parade. The shops lit early without trying to be charming. The camera took a panorama like a yawn after work. A placard in the reflection looked like a lane marker. Tuesday ahead. Safe speed. Entry 95, Thursday, low cloud. Mailbox humility. The post box swallowed a thick envelope and returned a nod to patience. The placard on the side read, trust the routes. Lighter wrist continues. I did. Entry 96, Friday, lantern hour, postcards of EXIF in words. We copied EXIF-style lines onto postcards with placard manners. Do not rush. Ring twice. Home not name. Tom pinned one. Celia framed one. The building kept one near the stair. Evidence can be tender if it avoids theater. Entry 97, Saturday, Quiet Street. The alley. A card on the bin. Lids down. Bags tied. Cats respected. Placard under it. Repair latch Tuesday. Order smells like citrus and rain when it stops auditioning. Entry 98, Sunday, Candle night. Forecast card. Chance of interruptions reduced by chairs. Carry patience. The tomatoes pinned corners firmly. We followed the weather and found it mostly cooperative. Entry 99, Monday, first frost. Gloves again. Fingerless gloves failed. A sign read, lend spare pair. Return after thaw. Return arrived with a bakery voucher shaped like gratitude. We ate the shape. Entry 100, Tuesday, clear air, city map. A wide view from the hill showed the river keeping promises. The placard fluttered like a flag with a quiet job. I folded the view into my pocket as if maps can become habits. Entry 101, Wednesday, bright cold, long exposure. 10 seconds of river negotiated with ice. The word said, patience becomes a bridge without nails. I learned to hold time without pressing it for confessions. Entry 102, Thursday noon, bakery line. The line behaved like a river with banks. A card, elbows holstered, glances kind. Tuesday for the sticky drawer. Bread punctuated the day correctly. Entry 103, Friday, twilight. Station clock. Meet on platform. Raise hand. Smile first. Resolution. Humans resolve delays with bodies, not apps. The placard by the pillar preferred indoor voices. Entry 104, Saturday, quiet. Name on paper. I wrote my name upstairs again. Downstairs remained verbs. The division continues to protect us. Entry 105, Sunday night. Last gray card. A blank square with one pencil word. Continue. The phone slept. The bell kept time. I listened to the building breathe like a book, closing carefully. Postscript. What the placard taught me. Today is a room. Tuesday is a workshop. Promise is a tool. Applause is a hobby. Rails listen. Doors learn. Chalk remembers. Names upstairs later. Verbs downstairs now. Forecast, after this story. Consent likely. Boundaries friendly. Repair scheduled. Chairs rescuing sentences. The river will stay. We will practice. The sign may rest. The day can keep its word. Coda, Tuesday without a sign. Entry 106, Monday, practice hour. The drawer closes. We placed the placard in the drawer labeled weather and closed it gently. No one panicked. Rules had become muscle. The lobby kept its posture without the necklace of twine. I wiped the glass in circles and drank tea without sugar. The day understood its job. Entry 107, Tuesday, sunny. A repair that finished. David replaced a latch and wrote a small receipt. Job done. Applause unnecessary. He hung the receipt on the board with a tomato and underlined the date with quiet ink. Tomorrow did its work, he said, and gave itself the rest of the week off. Entry 108, Wednesday, market. Habit inventory. We listed habits the sign had taught. Ring twice. Home not name. Chairs rescue sentences. Dust loses to circles. Tom added. Lighter wrist. Sugar later. Elbows holstered. Pace humane. We laughed after the sentence. Inventory is celebration without costumes. Entry 109, Thursday, lamp hour. Guest feedback. A traveler left a note at the hotel. Your lobby teaches arriving better than most cities teach leaving. Celia filed the note under weather and brewed water first for the next guest. Hospitality is a rehearsal that prefers verbs and small receipts. Entry 110, Friday, river edge, the small boat. We folded one last placard into a boat and set it on the river as the lamps clicked on. Water read the words and kept going. Tuesday floated away like a good teacher after graduation. We stood without speeches. That is my favorite kind of ceremony. Entry 111, Saturday, late. The elevator's thank you. The elevator paused one extra breath and then opened with a tone I had not heard. It sounded like a bow. Doors can bow if the week has been respected. We bowed back. Machine and people understood each other without needing translators. Entry 112, Sunday, early. Closing the ledger. We wrote a final line in the Tuesday ledger. Lesson absorbed. Then we turned the page and labeled a new drawer continue. Inside we placed a blank card. Some promises retire, some become furniture. This one became both.